I... This is the tweet where I say I'm streaming more Ace Attorney Chronicles. And then I hit send tweet. And then I copy the link and I go, this is the tweet where I link the stream.
Good job.
I did it.
I'm
We
so
are
proud of
in
you.
business.
Do you have a business registration number?
It's funny you say that for reasons I can't talk about. In any case, the adventure of the clouded cockerel. Should I know what?
Heart?
What
The adventure of the clouded heart?
is that? What cockerel is?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that, or if I did, I forgot.
Whose heart is clouded and should I be concerned?
What have we got? Oh, that's what it's called.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
I'm shocked the killer wasn't just still standing there with a knife. Like, they actually had the gall to walk away. Oh, is it time? Is he back? 19th February, 9:47 AM. British Supreme Court Lord Chief Justice Office. Oh, you gotta give me a moment. Gotta prepare this voice.
Oh god.
Well, not yet.
Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo?
Hey, Damson. No, not at all.
It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. It felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day, even in the middle of the night.
What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Booyah, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Yo, me too, but for other reasons.
Lack of sleep, inability to sleep.
No, it's like because of my shoulder. I've been trying to
Wow.
not sleep on the same side constantly.
Oh, yes. Completely normal thing to do. Really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except... when I learned that we owed £3 for the room, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. £3? Seems to
Damn.
be like... a lot,
That's like a
maybe,
Hotel
in that
6.
time. Hmm.
Actually, that's around when it started, I think. Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive, and the entrance so inviting. I just wandered in without thinking.
In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. Did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill.
Ugh, I really am sorry.
Should be. Oh, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less.
Ugh, London is a scary place. Ah, good morning to you at this early hour. Yes! I was right. Oh yes, we well.
Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We've come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday.
Susanna-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the opposing Lord Strongheart.
She doesn't have a weak heart when she's with Strongheart.
Yes, I believe you. Yes, I believe you have a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices. Is that what I was doing? I think so. Oh yes, it was very. Thank you.
And in accordance with instructions, Lord Strongheart. Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been apprised of events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Oh. No longer you, student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. Actually, this is starting to sound like my fake American accent. So, like, I did it by, like, trying to do a British accent that turned Australian, and now I can't think of how to do that. Aye! It's like in this part of the register. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. No, that's... What was I doing? Thank you very much. So I'm a lawyer now. Craig. See, that's not American. No American would say that. Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem? Another case. Oh, that Craig. Oh, what? Already? Nothing trains. Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. That's it. I'm sure you don't sense dissatisfaction, do you? Do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
Would an evil man wahaha? Oh, sorry, I was supposed to go wahaha.
Alright, well, Luigi.
It's just the bit we did last time. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent.
Mr. Naruhodo.
It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended. Well, you needn't let it trouble you a second longer. Sorry?
What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial. Don't get too excited, Effie.
Wow! No!
What? Mr. McGilded is dead? I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk. Apparently I was supposed to do this. Oh. But it's a really that you can use in any situation. Like you can say like really extremely or really confusion or like really faux show. It's so many purposes. And of course you can say really. Oh god, that hurts to do. Look at those menacing metal giants facing each other across the room. It's like that puzzle in We Were Here.
I believe yes, they're suits of armor.
Oh, right. I thought maybe they were like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates.
No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know. And they roam around in the middle of the night.
Really? Oh, wait, sorry. Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Mrs. Sato?
This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask.
Where'd she get the incredible tome? What are candles? Something you should spend more on. Just look at these naughty books packed together on these shelves. They go from floor to ceiling.
And they're all books that you couldn't hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream.
Yes. A very bad dream.
They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial systems of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland.
Ah, at least one of those didn't make it to the World Cup finals.
Wow.
What about Russia?
Why do you ask?
I was wondering if asking about asking the Lord Chief Justice how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think?
I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned. This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble.
It looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me.
I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Narukodo.
Feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stone here.
I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure.
Is this some kind of clock?
Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock.
Professor Layton 3!
But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive, even.
It's eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean?
Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around in machines, don't they?
I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size, and I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Wait, oh! No, hang on. No. I forgot the system. Oh, I'm so glad we can look around and see this. Really establishing the size of the library, respectively. Lord Strongheart, may I show you this? To accept this gift, issue a receipt, examine it thoroughly, and make a formal statement of my findings would require something in the region of 24 seconds of my time. Sorry? Does the item warrant 24 seconds of my time, Mr. Naruhodo? Let's leave it here now. The lawyer's name is embroidered on the side inside here. Look, Kazuma Asu. That was his band, of course.
He had his heart set on this study tour in Great Britain.
I'm sure he would have found the truth he longed for here. But he lost his life before he even had the chance to see the place.
I have such a strong sense of his hopes and dreams when I look at this armband there.
These are the scales of justice. They're a symbol of defense, aren't they? Hi, Vagabond!
Yes, that's right.
It's going alright. I'm admittedly a little tired because haven't had a chance to have a nap, so I don't know how long the stream will go, but I'm doing well myself. I hope you're doing better today.
The scales are a symbol of fairness to show that all are treated equally in the eyes of the law. And they're a warning to those who enter the courtroom without an impartial mind.
But if they're the bark of defense, it would be more auspicious if they were weighing more heavily on the not guilty side, I think.
Very impartial, I'm sure.
I don't understand. What happened? How could he be dead? Well, after the trial concluded yesterday, there was great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. What? Since when? Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime, which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Precisely! Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. No?
How could such a thing have happened?
I did a weird, like, it was supposed to be British but turned Australian voice that I just rolled with, and I'm having trouble finding it at the moment. So at the moment I've kind of landed on, like, bad TV dub Australian. That is being investigated as we speak, but already. The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of Miss McGilded. Like, and I'm kind of hoping that the fact that I myself am Australian will kind of just carry enough of it that it works, but I'm not sure it is. That's awful. The man must have slipped aside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. Wait, what was I... Isn't this my Herlock Sholmes voice, or was that something just louder? That bailiff really needs to pay more attention. Speaking of paying attention, there's a thing on this Twitch chat. But
And how could that have happened?
is the Sholmes voice something like, and how could that have happened? No, I can't think of it. That is also being investigated as we speak.
Why does that name look so familiar in the chat? Thinking back now. Immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded just mentioned going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
It's just been so long since I've had to voice Sholmes.
Well, I must be making tracks now. It's time for the inspection.
So, what inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. Asked if I could be present for it myself.
Oh, sorry. An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard has any intention of re-examining the carriage. Sorry. That's important. But then who is Mr. McGilder talking about? Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Poor Mr. McGilded.
Shit. It's gonna be a long night, isn't it? So, how did you find... Sorry, what?
A very long night.
So how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was a... Wow.
Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in a solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's kind of sad that Mr. McGilded died, though. He seemed like a popular dude. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, just only a few.
But did he do it?
Old.
That's...
I feel like it's suspicious that he died.
Like, if he was
Mhm,
really
I think
villainous,
that-
then they wouldn't let him die, because he needs to, like, have his comeuppance.
A lot of people die in this game, do you realize?
Yeah, but
Very suspiciously.
usually when someone is bad, they get a clear comeuppance. They don't get to just die before it's
Yeah,
realized.
so like he's not bad. So it's a bit suspicious that he's dead because then somebody is definitely behind that.
But
which is
the
kinda
end of the
sad.
last chapter was so suspicious. I don't know if you can say he's innocent.
I think like he has a hand in something, but like overall he's innocent.
Wait, did you read this?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Susanna-san has such a way with words.
So does
Way with words.
And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. Oof.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. I heard all you can. The most advanced in the world? Is it? It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
She's gonna get so sick of his bullshit. I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but the case was anything but simple.
The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favourable verdict. Yeah. Is something funny? No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I don't know about that. Well, never mind. You exceed my expectations, I freely admit. That much is at least an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I've prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before. What's going on? What's he gonna say before?
Could you perhaps give us more details about the new case you mentioned?
Don't tell me. It's a murder! And the trial starts in 10 minutes! Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? That is to say, no one has died as yet. And the trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. It's like that episode of Columbo where no one died until like halfway through, I think. "23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise." So the trial's tomorrow then.
Is everything alright?
Oh, yes. I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was, well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo,
I don't know if I would
you sweet summer child.
face standing in the courtroom after Mr. McGilden's trial. Also, because it might still be on fire. Ah yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. Oh! If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
The most terrible end awaits the defendant.
Yes, that's right. Ugh, here we go again. Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time you mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time. Well, it's less now. Oh, and just one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, shit. There is something I should like to ask you. When you came into the courtroom yesterday afternoon... what's that? Yesterday, you remarked upon something. Please do it. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asuki. Oh, I really... I'll try to... Like, how is it? Like, do you remember the time when you... Something like that, yeah, I can do that. I'd be interested to hear exactly what you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Oh, well, because Umura used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the great justice system in the world worked so that he could change that in Japan. Now he's gone, I'd like to work towards it by myself. And there's another thing. One thing. Quickly, Effie, quickly.
Oh!
Another thing, continue. On the way here on the steamship, he said something to me. There's something very important I have to do. Sorry, that's your line. Something very important, and what would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he had made it to the Great Britain. You're out of time! You're out, I'm running my head just Well, thank you for a delighted discussion.
Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about?
Oh, it's a whole note song. It's great.
Mr. Asogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
So all of a sudden I'm awake again. I urge you both to focus your attention on the matter in hand. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details. Is this who I need to keep the voice for?
Yes.
How long has
None
he
of my
been there?
business.
I mean, I'm not trying to pawn you off on a voice, even though apparently one of you guys just died. So I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell.
There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean?
Wish I knew. I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective. Don't you think? That's enough.
Yes, you're right.
I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks too pleased to see us at all. He does have a disheveled coat, I'll give him that. Hey, do you like chili? Could we trouble you?
No, I'm not a
Sorry.
hedgehog.
Do you remember? Oh, sorry. What do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get English gent eaten out of your hand, you know. But Suzaru-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man. A very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what other officers will be there saying, I need to practice this voice. I don't think I'm getting it right. Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days.
He's giving incredible Mario vibes.
And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. Yes, the obscure country of Japan. Wait, in order to get the Columbo, I need to say a Columbo line. Do you remember the time when I wanted to see those paintings, and you wouldn't, and I really wanted it, you wouldn't let me? Nah. Do you remember that? That's something like that. Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard, going to tatters. There's no need to rip us apart as well. Oh, just one more thing. I mean, that's what we need to do.
This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant,
It's hard because he doesn't say Columbo-esque lines, so it's like putting me off.
It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? When in doubt, talk about the weather.
I love Head Over Heels by Tears for Fears.
Incidentally, didn't you talk to me about the weather like not very long before the stream started?
No, I didn't. Oh, yes, but not intentionally.
That's pretty funny though.
Just one more thing. It's unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. So I gotta like do this when you talk like Columbo, like weird neck movements. Unbelievable. How did she pull that off? So I have. Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson are you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson, Inspector Gregson.
Scotland Yard.
Gumshoe.
In Lieutenant Gregson.
Gumshoe.
What's the matter with Suzato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Is it a pun that only she gets?
Inspector, are you perhaps? The Inspector Gregson?
We need to do this as well.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry, it's my line. You're acting like you know this man, Mrs. Suzato, but he's the London detective.
Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact.
Very well. Very well.
Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, in that publication, what's it called again? Rants magazine?
That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry.
Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. I can't tell if Ryunosuke is being ironic. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course. But he does show up for the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of old Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words.
That's his highest praise?
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he's not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? Well, I have to admit, to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it is not! There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under my breath, I'm sure. I told my wife about this, and she's very particular. Rumors. Like Fleetwood Mac. Rest in peace, Christine McVie.
Are you quite sure?
He's changed since I last started appearing in those stories. The fame's got to his head. Stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't exactly catch what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs. But you don't know, you know the secret to a good omelette? No eggs.
No.
Look, trust the detective who goes to Widow's house and starts making an omelette. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work.
Oh dear, that sudden rise to fame does change people.
So, about the case of the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned, the yard, it couldn't be simpler. But that's the thing.
Oh dear, that probably means... But as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that. But I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on the Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. I guess it is what's. I meant to put a limit on that, and I keep forgetting to do it.
Oh,
Is this
have
where I?
fun.
Hang on. What?
Have fun with that.
I'll get to it in a moment. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she's still laid up in the hospital unconscious. This is where I quickly.
That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind?
I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with a Susanna takedown, would you?
But it's neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You've angered her now.
Get taken down.
Anyways, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. So, okay.
I believe in you.
I think I'm good. I set a limit, I think. Now I can, hang on, I just gotta open my channel because I don't have it open. Oh, sorry, I'm good now. I'm good to go. Okay. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit?
Perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question.
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. Prosecutor that's been assigned the trial tomorrow is Lord Baroque Van Zeeks. Baroque Van Zeeks. Oh, my wife, she loves him. No. Sounds like you've heard of him then.
Oh yes, we're very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to be the harbinger of death himself.
Is it Harbinger or Harbinger? I don't know, actually.
Not sure.
The Reaper of the...
I'm not the right person to ask.
Yeah, and I'm not either, apparently.
Of all the turns of tables.
Oh, yeah, there was another word earlier in the stream, but you said it right, and I would have said it the wrong way if it had to come to me.
Oh, which one was it?
I think stipend.
I need to.
It was stipend.
What do you call it? Frame it out. I need to frame up that word. For once, I was correct.
At least I think you're right. Lord Baroque Van Zeeks, we faced in court only yesterday, or like 2 weeks ago. Who's he?
Mr. McGilded told us about him before the trial, didn't he?
Van Zeeks sends for the prosecution. They called the accused his sacrificial. Wait, who's saying it? Mr. McGilded saying it. Who cares? And in every single trial which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. Well, I guess that technically counts. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty. Is that it?
Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector. That in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zieks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
Yeah. And what of it?
Oh, well, I think. That means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
Phrasing. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean?
Wait, phrasing me or Watsels?
Susato. Yeah, here we go. What happened to that bloke at the end, eh? He's dead. Ah. Magnus McGilda came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you say the defendant, can you? Oh, just one more thing. What are you saying? Look, if Van Ziek gets the dirt stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. Like the woman the Helen Keller's teacher who I couldn't remember the name of when I was doing a thing on Discord yesterday. It's Anne Sullivan. I remember now. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works magic. Black magic.
Of course he does.
Oh, I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that? See, the thing is, right, well, I filled you in on as requested, and I'm nearly out of chips. So I'll be headed to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there.
It was Briar Road. Huh, you said, where the incident took place. Briar Rose is an interesting name.
Why? Does it mean something to you?
I just remember the name being familiar, like I've read it somewhere before. I'm not sure if it's a famous name or anything though.
That's correct, man. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You branded them a criminal already? It's just as good as. Shaking like a leaf in the cell he is. He'll give you a chuckle and nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Wait a minute! That's some Final Destination shit right there. It's like, oh ho ho! You survived the Reaper's trial, but now you're doomed to die in a weird, unexpected tragedy shortly after. Oh, what's that? Is that like a... Oh! As opposed to Aurora? Is that her name? Question mark?
Fables and Fables.
Wait, which one's Aurora?
Oh no, it's it's the Wolf Among Us, I think.
Effie?
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at
Sauce!
something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sauce.
I had to look up Briar Rose, that was important.
Okay, what do you think will be number one this year, and what do you want to be number one? So that's a complicated question. This is not what the poll is for, but sure. Because when you ask about like what you want to be number one, you have to like put in the like you have to temper your expectations. You know, like there's stuff where it's like I know this is not going to be number one. Because, like, how could it be? No one knows it. So, like, that's just completely out of the picture. Whereas, really, it's just, like, a battle between, like, a handful of contenders that maybe have a chance. And I say that but then like it was like in 2007, I was like, nah, I'm not even sure Muse will make the countdown. Little did I know. Um, but see, I think about this because I'm not even sure. Like, nah, the thing that comes up every year is it's like, what on earth is going to be number one in the Hottest 100? Nothing feels big enough. But then at the end of the day, that's what happens every year, and it's only after the fact that they finally become big enough that they validate this. You know, like most of the like sale, like when the 2020 Hottest 100 aired, Heat Waves by Glass Animals was a gold selling single that was close to platinum, maybe, but it was a gold selling single. It's now like a 12 times platinum selling single, so like it's so much bigger than it was then. And it's like, of course it was number one. It's a huge song, but like it takes so long to get to that point that you don't know. And so like I I really don't know what's going to be number one this year. If I had to guess, I would make a not so confident pick on maybe Joji getting to number one with Glimpse of Us. That's like the only song that seems popular enough. But at the same time, it does not feel like it's the right fit for a number one because like it's a ballad and ballads don't really get that sort of vote. Like he does well in Honest Wonders, but like it's just I can't imagine it being number one. I can see him doing really well. And then it's like everything else he has as competition. It has their similar caveat. So like it's like, oh, this doesn't feel like it fits the voting demographic, or yeah, this was a pretty big song, but not by this artist standards. So like, I like a lot of people think Flume will be right up there, and he'll definitely be in the top 10. But like, it's hard to imagine to be number one because like Say Nothing is just not that big of a hit. And then like who would I like to see at number one? I don't know. I mean, I'm cool with Joji, I guess. Like, it'd be cool also like if Steve Lacy got to number one because he's cool. Although it's not like my favorite song, but it's pretty good. And like that's another one that could, but I don't know if it's well known enough. Or maybe it is well known enough, but it doesn't seem like it's oversaturated in the same way because radio hasn't flogged it and Triple J were late to playing it, so like, but it'll definitely do well. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I also should note that I try to avoid spoilers and stuff until the day. So like, there's a lot of the time where something will come in like the top 10 and I just had no idea to expect it. So yeah, it's really hard to predict. Anyway, let's continue.
Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo?
The important thing is
not
that
a
make
thing.
sure you vote not as one another, otherwise you lose your right to complain.
To tell the truth, when I called the trial yesterday, can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage too.
I also freely admit when it comes to this stuff that I'm clearly like aged out of the average demographic at this point, so it makes sense that it doesn't really align to what I'm most interested in, and like that's because I'm a massive boomer of it at the moment. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I hope My Chemical Romance and Param will make it. That'd be cool. But it's like, damn, I am from the 2000s. But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he'd be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny.
So...
If I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. We help.
Did you really think that you had to ask? After all, I am your judicial assistant.
I should say, like, what's this as well? Like, the main reason I keep a pulse on this stuff is because I follow the charts, so I know what gets big. But less and less of the stuff that's going to be in the Hottest 100 actually ends up on the charts because the charts are slowed down to a crawl. It's a thing. You're going to have to spend like 5,000 channel points for me to talk about that. Anyway, thank you. So then, shall we?
Yes, let's go.
Like, for instance, you look at the most streamed Australian songs in the past year on Spotify, and there are like 30 former Hottest 100 entries in that list, and like 4 songs that will make this year's Hottest 100. Like, it's just so hard to get a grasp on this stuff because there's so few songs now reach that threshold where you can observe it. And even then, some of the songs that make that threshold don't make it in. 19th February, Briar Road. So this is where it happens. Briar Road.
Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak.
I don't know if they still do it, Watsons, but there's someone on the Triple J subreddit who makes like a playlist that's like trying to weight popularity versus Triple J airplay, and it's kind of interesting. That is their job, you know. Like, it's not really a barometer of the Hottest 100 because there's so many oddities of that, but it's interesting.
Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close. To reveal Bobby's helmet.
What? The helmet?
Hee hee. Of course, I have to try 1-1-1-2. Sorry.
I hope your Hattie dreams come true. Don't see expected Gregson anyway. Good, because I need more time to practice that voice. Shall we see if I can sneak past and investigate the scene of the stabbing?
Why should we sneak?
I don't want to upset one of the bobbies and be butted in the head by one of the metal helmets. My skull would crack in two, I'm sure.
Oh no, an English hot Bobby would never do such a thing. This is a land of gentlemen, you know. They're really
That's
trying
what
to
England's
sell this
famous for.
hard.
England is famous for men being gentle.
Yeah, as if. He, what a delightful snowman.
It's delightful. I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It's a little creepy though.
Oh, it has a scarf, look!
You'd need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one.
I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Is that a pun?
I haven't seen Frozen 2, so I don't know.
No, because we're in a frozen land. It's snowy.
Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his.
But the person who made the snowman certainly would.
Yes!
Really?
I know. You're right. Anyway. Even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much warmth to my neck, would it? It's covered in snow.
Oh, it's a Scotland Yard carriage.
Wait, what do you mean 11/2/22? What's this? Which? I'm not sure what you're looking at.
These vehicles like.
Oh, yeah, release date, yeah, sorry.
From cutaway criminals.
You're very well informed, aren't you? I don't want to disappoint you in advance, Watsons, but I would be surprised if Newground made it. At least, based on my assumption of how popular it is. And Camp Cope for that matter. I don't think anything made it on their last album.
It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London.
I do think Peach could make it, but I'm not certain. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then.
But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone.
Yeah, I think of it as a way as tempering expectation, so then like if it does somehow get in, you're like, holy shit! As opposed to being like, well, that's what I was hoping for. So, yeah, there's only means to be disappointed. No, I wasn't serious. Like, based on last year, as soon as any of my votes get in, I'll be like, holy shit! I have such low standards now. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons.
I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern.
Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. I think it was more than twice. I think he took them on and put them back on like 4 times.
Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all.
Ugh. Oh! Oh, sorry.
Oh, a British bicycle, look!
Is it lagging that much?
Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore.
Someone must be doing some breakneck cycling.
It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well.
The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that.
Goodness, do you just like bicycles?
No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them. It's just that any occupation that involves taking your feet firm off the ground seems reckless. Hey, Baldic. Have you ever tried walking on stilts? Or fallen into a river? I know you'd agree with me.
We would have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around. Phrasing. That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history.
Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on this place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than any of the other houses around here.
We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible now. Just sleep on the street, it's easy.
It's Strand Street, from Monopoly. Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Oh, look at the windows of that building there.
Are you sure they're windows?
Yes, they just have very funny looking curtains. Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks.
Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment.
There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though.
Oh dear. Everything still feels very foreign.
Oh. There's so much we have to learn about this place. Oh. Is it just a look around, I guess? 19th February. Local prison cell 9. So these are British prison cells?
Oh, they're ghastly. Feels just like a dungeon.
Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
Apparently our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark in the back here, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like.
Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding at the back of the cell and show your face at once.
Am I a cat as yet with no name? Oh, I ride in the town and a cat with no name, calling me by a number, it's utterly unbelievably unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
Thoughts?
Did you mean to say Law Watsels? Because they are not close on the keyboard.
Mr. Naruhodo, what? My thoughts exactly. What do you think is going on here?
I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Nani?
Isn't it a tirade, not a tirade?
No, it's tirade. Excuse me, but who? Shh! Quiet! They're all around, hiding. I know they are. This is getting close to my Van Zieg's voice, I think. They're watching, listening, even now. I can sense it. Right. So, could I ask you who exactly? There you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost. Ah, a ghost. A ghost.
You mean you no harm, Prisoner-san? Mr. Prisoner, are you Japanese by any chance?
This is
Inconceivable.
beyond my wildest dreams. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. I'm just a little surprised. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land. That was almost alliteration. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most
Oh, he's
monumentally moving moment. I could have guessed this new client, Lord Strongheart, assigned to us, was a member of the village people. Would turn out to be a fellow Japanese. Wow. What compassion a fellow countryman show.
Oh my god, he has anime eyes.
Well, he is Japanese.
What we
Dispatch
anime eyes?
first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. No, no true. Failing. Nippon! A first-class lawyer? Oh dear.
In JSL.
I think there's something of a misunderstanding here.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example.
Well, yes. I can. I will. Shan, say silent. I cannot do this in time. He's too fast for me.
You might hit some things on your headset.
Yeah, that's what I'm also concerned about.
I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy.
Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you said. My name is Rinosuke Naruhodo. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Oh, lovely. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Sujato Mikutoba. I understand that reference.
They did it on Jeopardy every week. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notably, notoriously named Natsume. Did he dab? I swear he just dabbed. Soseki Natsume. Can I dab? Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. A writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume. A nom de plume? You mean an alias?
That's right, Naruhodo-san.
No. Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku? That really reminds me of home.
Did I hear you say that you're a visiting student sent over here by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this. It's beyond the pale. Suffer that misery. Did you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something, does it mean you can do it? No.
What do you mean?
If they told me to study English literature, that's I would have understood. That's my field. No, they told me to study the English language. Utterly unbelievable, unjust, unreasonable. I see. So that's where Captain Ginyu's mind ended up after the frog. So the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tended a blank piece of paper. Why is a word on? What? Wash. Wait. That's not haiku. Disregard.
But it's at Haikyuu.
What?
You must be a fan. You must be a man of great standing. It's an anime, don't worry.
Oh yes, Psalm of Dawn.
That I've
So-
never watched.
Often likes to be told, it seems.
Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Saseki-san?
I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder. Oh, so there was a murder?
Murder?
In
About
my
Noah?
in my Owl Express? Oh, no, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I'd like to play a little game. I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here? I mean, I've played Among Us, so it's possible.
Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's incredible, inexcusable, irritating, inconvenient. So Sasaki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker.
It's vital that we find out more about the case.
But what if the person had been dead for ages, but he uses a heating blanket to disguise the time of death?
Or was it?
Oh,
No,
sorry.
that was
It was
not
a
me.
cursed evening. Or was it a cursed vagabond? Just after the snow started to clear and heavy fog. I've been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the silhouette of another ahead of me. So much accursedness. A woman wearing a green overcoat. She was about to overtake her. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. Damn, my one question. Is she turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
How terrible! I forgot I was muted.
I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. This is making my microphone shake.
That's not slight.
I was terrified. I had to get away from there. We gotta get out of this place. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me to my accursed lodgings on this accursed day and this accursed month, this accursed year. That's not good. They'll say it. Shameful, I know. To run away like that. Oh, he's using his mustache. That's what he's doing. I thought he was just doing the I the Somnium
Tell me.
Files 2 thing.
Tell me, Sasaki-san, is the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair English, and a young woman at that? I'm indifferent, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. It's not Watson's. It's 11:39 p.m. I see. A young woman, unknown to Sasaki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great. Excuse me, Watsels. I'll have you know that this is the most popular time zone in the world. It is 11:40 p.m. for more people than it is any other time right now. So, majority rules, except not quite majority, it's just a lot. Like, I'm talking well over 1 billion people in the world have this same time zone as me. So, yeah. And Effie does too.
So the victim was unknown to you and there was nobody else in the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
What conundrum? We also have the common decency to not have to change our clocks every 6 months. A conundrum wrapped inside a riddle inside of an enigma.
What do you mean, Suzanne? No,
What do you mean,
that's not me.
Sada-san?
Why do I keep looking at the wrong line?
What's the conundrum? And I didn't look at it too, so I didn't even catch it.
Well, if what Sasaki-san has told us is true, there's something I can't explain.
I agree, Watson. In fact, I don't even know how to change my watch, which I've owned for like close to a decade maybe, and it just slowly slips further and further forward. So now it's like, I don't know if you can see the display right here. It's going to reflect too. But my watch right now says it's 11:56. It's 15 minutes fast. When I went over to America, I didn't even bother changing my watch. I just had to adjust for it both being 10 minutes fast and also being, I think it was 9 hours ahead. It was no, it's 13 hours ahead. Sorry, or 14, one of those two. Minnesota is Central Time, I think. Anyway. Susato.
He says that he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. And he apparently fled without having been seen.
But if I were to fix my watch, then I'd have to remember that I fixed it. And that looking at my watch will actually net the correct time. I did. Also, having a 10-minute fast watch was actually good because it made me hurry. Because I'd always think I was late. But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. Or if not late, I would like have that sense of urgency drilled into me briefly. Ugh! You. What did you just say?
Me?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops. Perhaps I thought that a little too loudly.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested?
Sorry?
Yeah, you better be.
Excuse me,
Okay.
Baldic. You severely underestimate my ability to subtract 15 from numbers. I would say most people could do it pretty quick. I could do it faster.
He didn't touch the victim. There was nobody that seemed to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place?
Oh, yes. She's right. It was him. Let's get him, fellas. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective? Could it be? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. I'm about to butcher it. With his haughty laugh, self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, beginner, busybody, be gone. May you be cursed until the end of your days. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, he says it German as well. I knew it. See ya, Wutzels. Cheers for hanging around. Don't worry, I'm sure I'll still be playing this game by the time the clock's shipped back. Mr. Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes? Wait, is that him?
What?
No, it's not.
Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after the nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. It was a dark and stormy night. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police. Put the weapon down. Also, do, da da da. Yes, it was thin slim. Yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. It's disgusting. Dietary. Discrimination. Devils. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. There he was, in the middle of the police, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Herlock Sholmes. It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out he's a famous name in detection here in London.
Yes, the great detective is actually very well known.
And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman. Me, this weak, stooped kitten of a man. I wonder what great deduction process led to his conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
Well, the thing is, Suzeki is like practicing what his like. He's a long-running Jeopardy champion who does the same thing every day, like how Chris does this, and he's like figuring out what his best thing would to be. It's clearly what's going on here. I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in.
Of course you were. That's only natural.
I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish, foreign, film, flim, flammery! Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point,
Good point.
And mind blank. I see you've mixed up two S's.
Yes,
And you had to
I
answer,
have.
but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes I do, and I'm fine. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles. Before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine? He's not fine now.
He's channeling me.
Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple Mr. is more than enough. Oh yes, alright, yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, Why is it so hard to say hi to me? Well, the thing is, I'm not just a student like yourself on a study tour. A student? I have defended the case in the Old Bailey, on the other one. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means.
Oh, Naruhodo-san.
I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm not even supposed to be here! I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. But that armband, that's the mark of defense lawyer from our great empire. And it's not mine. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. A keepsake.
Best friendo. Never mind.
Is that like husbando?
No.
I know exactly what they're trying to say about me. Oh. No.
Oh, what do you mean?
The lawyers. All the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me.
Goodness, why do you say that?
For the same reason you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Sasuke-san. Sasuke. Sasuke? Yeah, I guess so. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them, someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Do I need to know what's going on in chat? Because I do not understand this at all. I mean, Snail's making like a pasta joke, I think.
Snail's doing. I don't know what Snail is doing.
Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say, The man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway. That's all. Wrong. I've studied more English than half the policemen out there on the streets. I've travelled halfway around the world to learn about these people's countries and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it, though I'm not sure. I see what you've been through. So sad. It's past that. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can for the time being. What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you, Lockham student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
Yes! The symbol of one of our great empire's first right warriors. Which means, of course, you'll stand by my side. You'll defend me. Oh, no, sorry, that wasn't why I was showing it to you. Then why else would you show me that? Oops, in hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea. Oh, shit. Just one more thing. When you were... There we go. What's the Japanese delegation doing here?
Oh, Inspector Gregson.
This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So you've come to the holding cells then? What do you make of the criminal?
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
See about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, doing well. It doesn't bother me. Works the court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's the foregone conclusion. Ugh. Stone cold air of rejection.
Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone cold air.
That makes it worse somehow.
Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I've read about it in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place.
The Yard. This is the most investigated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, man.
Oh, and you know I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
It does make them look the part. Seeing that policeman over there with his helmet on? You suddenly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city.
Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful?
Being a London boy is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? He goes around and rouses all the labourers in his pig so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yep. Raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back there. Something in the house that has no windows?
I have no idea.
Bobby works for the people of town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. Can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Let me see. "20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama."
You know, I was gonna get this, like, while I was waiting for you to do the lines, I was like gonna just do Wordle in between. I just got Wordle in 2, so I can't do that anymore.
Nice.
On foot. That's definitely taking things a step too far. When it gets dark, of course. He has the important job of lighting all the guests' street lamps.
Oh my.
I suppose in between all his duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well.
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you would call it in between exactly. More on side, but yes. They're expecting to handle those jobs as well. We do have men killing it from time to time, men.
Many dots. I've always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. I didn't. But it's a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. It happened around 5 in the evening, 2 days ago, just there. You haven't got to pay. Victim, you were stabbed with a blade from behind. Is it right? The lady is still unconscious now. You mentioned that she's being treated in hospital. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we'll be able to find out much about her at all. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want. Really? You sure? It's your policy to give lawyers defendant suspect the bit of information to go on. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still.
Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept.
The local map has been entered into the court record. Street map of the local area showing where the victim was found. Anyway. Calabash Road, Meacham Road, Briar Road. I'm sure this will be important. As far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Nutsme is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but...
But just because you didn't see anyone. It doesn't mean you can be sure that nobody else was present.
And just because it's almost Christmas doesn't mean it's Christmas. I'm
Not
sorry to have to tell you,
necessarily.
but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Because, man, precise moment of stabbing didn't go unnoticed. It what? We had two very reliable witnesses, no less.
Ah,
So here's the thing. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them. There were witnesses now, and they saw them. Who are these witnesses, Inspector? Bell and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in England. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. Oh, that reliable and respected.
ah.
Oh. What if it's Inspector Chelney from Leighton? A policeman. That might change things.
And this policeman just so happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked.
Nothing peculiar about that, man. Part and parcel of being a boy, catching him banging the act and all that. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like in court tomorrow. Oh. I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to. That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man behind, it seems.
The policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this can make our job very difficult indeed.
Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh yes. Just one more thing, Inspector. What? That's my line. Just one more thing. The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes. What are you bringing him up for? Was it something I said? Color restraint on his cheeks. This is where the musical sing appears. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes in trial tomorrow. You gonna defend him or not? Oh no, he's a Twitch streamer. Well, makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt will touch the case of a barge pole. Is the prosecution being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? There's no way to save the men. Now, it's a waste of time trying. It's all a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones. Master criminals?
The violent ones?
That's right, he handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. But Mr. Natsumi wouldn't hang around for what he's accused of, surely. That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this just isn't the sort of case I'm expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, it's got more to it. For some reason it's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness. You'll have to ask yourself tomorrow's trial. Are we really gonna face the Reaper again? Lord of Darkness, as he put it? Who'd you hear that name from? Damn, never. I mean, well, it was Mr. Natsumi who mentioned it, but also I met him. He said that Mr. Shows was with the police when they entered his lodgings.
I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholm's inspirational great deductions.
Fiddle faddle.
Ah!
Ben's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Oh. Look, I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around the spot and even operating from rubbish. Before you know it, claims to have solved the case. Damn, remember that other guy. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't
he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble.
Ah!
Ever since seen this before. Oh, yes, that's Rant's magazine.
The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Herlock Sholmes appears.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you see, but it sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives and stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone in the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Herlock Sholmes tale at all. That seems like bordering on libel.
Well, I suppose there is an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector?
Clearly the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Well, I don't think we're going to get anything more useful information out of the detective.
Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion?
Oh, yes. What is it?
Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this.
By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes or Mrs. Holmes?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly.
Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsumi did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in this case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet Mr. Sholmes again.
The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address even.
It's Baker Street.
Oh, and then like the exact unit always comes up in trivia and I never know it. It's like 10A or something. I don't know. How do you know that?
It's in the stories, of course.
Oh wait, it's Baker Street? There is 221B, okay.
221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world, according to her.
Oh, I see. There's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We better try to find a way there before Susada's-san gets more excited and unpredictable.
Facts. Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage.
So we're to have a reunion already. with the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Well, so I'm a bit tired, and that's a good stopping point because then by tomorrow's stream, there should be a stream tomorrow. I will have remembered how to do the Herlock Sholmes voice, and I should be less tired. One can hope.
One could.
And also, I should
Not believe you
practice.
got tired faster than I did.
I dipped in and out, but it'd be a good time for me to have a nap now. I should also like practice my fake Columbo voice because what I'm doing right now isn't really anything, but I need to like reference it. I can do a lot better. I swear my best attempt was when I just first half-assed it, and then I just kind of slipped away from that. It keeps happening.
I believe in you. Tomorrow.
So what time's good for you tomorrow?
I think I should be good for... Let's just do 10. I don't know how my day's gonna go. If I can do early, I'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
The usual, the good stuff.
And then next week, I'll mention it on Twitter probably. But it'll be my birthday next week, and I'll be doing a different stream.
Happy early birthday, Jack! It's gonna be a milestone!
I mean, they're all milestones.
It's gonna be a very suspicious milestone.
Is suspicious the word you're trying for, or is it like auspicious or inauspicious?
I mean, it could be suspicious because like you keep avoiding it.
What does that mean?
You keep avoiding trying to get there.
What?
Keep avoiding trying to get to that age.
What do you mean? Is this me or people in general or what?
Every time we talk about how close you're getting to that age, you're like, no, stop reminding me.
I feel like I'm not that kind of person. I apologize for gaslighting. We'll see when we get there. I mean, there's no avoiding it. But yeah, so probably stream tomorrow, hopefully a bit longer. I'll try to like, be less tired, but my sleep is just bad at the moment, and I never get a chance to fix it. Like, the only way I can is having a nap or sleeping in, which I can't really do on Fridays because it's chart day. But yeah, in any case, if you're watching this Vive or via VOD, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't matter, as long as you're here, as long as you have a good time, and hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye!